Why you ain't say nothing? I'm only gonna do this once. You always knew I'd make it in the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? You believed in me the whole time, for real? Yeah. I couldn't tell. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times, couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Stages on moon getting bigger. Now you wanna say something. Been watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say nothing? 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 You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Put that on my soul. Oh no. They ain't hungry no more when it's time to eat crow. Or farming, I'm enhancing my glow. Ain't gon' argue with you about what I know. Photo album, all I'm seeing is ghosts. Had to remodel from pillar to post. Said what I said, I ain't come here to argue. You said congratulations, should've said sorry. Got it, now you won't be part of the party. Your access denied, I'm sorry, not sorry. When I needed air, niggas wouldn't have farted. Now they pulling up and thinking we solid. Now I'm on the phone talking $1 million topics. Up early, Zoom call out to Abu Dhabi. Don't answer my phone if it's gonna be about gossip. I don't really care, everybody got problems. That's why I be sharing my woes, letting y'all know it's okay, you can come up from the bottom. Scraping, scratching, clawing. Before I start running, I started with crawling. Before I got balance, I started with falling. Started with broke before ever was balling. Started with hope before ever rewarded. They ain't show up till I became important. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times, couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Been watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say nothing? Classic. 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 I'm only gonna do this once.
Fighting out of the southpaw stance, standing at 6'2", 190 pounds. I give you more me different. I work too hard. Ain't no way I ain't getting paid different. It's from the dirt, this from the mud. You ain't slave with me. This was strictly for my homies that was brave with me. You can't come in with me now if you ain't came. I got cold skull looking at you side eye if you ain't with me. I seen a couple people try and it ain't in pretty. I only keep the people around that stood on 10 with me. And if they start to stand on 9, that's where it end with me. It can end quickly. In the way I level up, I make them spin differently. I should start a foundation. They be make-a-wishing me. I got these hoes in the fence. They can't seem to get to me. Man, I done master discipline. It take more than booty cheeks. Need a little more conversation, cause I still be trying to see. I be listening with my eyes. Yeah, I still be trying to see. I be moving like the prize. You can't find another me. Let's get focused. Want the fruits of your labor, gotta climb the tree. Yeah, I'm out here playing seeds, cause I got a lot to leave.
Fuck you mean I wanna be like you? I wanna be like you.
I be putting in long hours, I ain't gotta stop to sleep. Yeah, I put in that time, put in work, I'm a different breed. My work ethic marine. I'm in college, sweat city society T. I'm in the gym working out clean. Bag work, 5 punch combinations, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. I'm made different. I work too hard. Ain't no way I ain't getting paid different. It's from the dirt, it's from the mud. You ain't slave with me. This was strictly for my homies that was brave with me. You can't come in with me now if you ain't came with me. Skull looking at you side.
Classic. Yo, it's Classic with Classic Code Sports, and I am here with another great live show for y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat 333 early in the building. Sophisticated say, you're far right away, Queens first in this bit. Yes, sir. Big Skull in the building, in too deep in the building. Miss Washington in the building. She said, what's up, Classic? Tuned in for my next boxing lesson. Yes, Classic. Lord. Yes, Lord. Shout out to you, Miss Washington. Thank you for being a blessing to the platform. In Too Deep said 333. What's going on? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It is now 3:33 p.m. where I am. What a coincidence, chat. But let's get into it, man. Shakur Stevenson breathes a sigh of relief. Classic. Shakur Stevenson breathes a sigh of relief as the bully turns his attention to bigger things. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me, chat. Talk to me, chat. Yes, sir. So apparently it has been confirmed that Tank Davis has reached out to Devin Haney's team, father and manager Bill Haney, and they are officially in negotiations for a fight. They're negotiating a good way to meet at, I guess, among some other things. I have not been real heavy on keeping up with the Twitter, right? But I have been keeping up with the verifiable news, meaning that when people are reporting what's coming directly from the sources, being Devin or Bill, we don't have an official source on Tank because we can't confirm if that Twitter is Tank or not. But Devin and Bill have confirmed that they are indeed in real life having conversations with Tank Davis. Now, what does that mean? It means that Shakur Stevenson is off the hook.
Classic.
It means that Shakur Stevenson is off the hook. Listen, we've seen Shakur ducking and dodging, positioning, posturing, over-explaining, under-explaining, talking in circles, trying to do everything to deter Devin Haney from up off his ass. You understand me, chat? We have seen Shakur. I'm talking about this nigga ain't just a defensive technician in the ring. He is a defensive technician outside of the ring,
Classic.
Chat. And now he can breathe easy, at least for a moment, right? He can breathe easy at least for a moment because in collaboration with Tank Davis reaching out to Team Devin Haney about a potential catchweight fight, the WBO president must have had his pocket. Now, this is all alleged for content creation purposes and entertainment and satire, of course. But maybe the WBO has had their pockets properly greased because now they're getting aggressive. Devin, you gonna fight Keyshawn or we stripping you?
Classic.
You gonna fight Keyshawn or we stripping you? Now, Devin Haney, for a Tank Davis type legacy fight for those two and the type of money that is gonna make, you understand? I'm sure they're willing to get stripped of that belt to go get that type of bag. And then that type of bag with no sanctioning fees attached to it, we like to call that even better.
Classic.
I ain't got nobody. I don't have no sanctioning body. For those who don't know, the sanctioning bodies are the organizations that are over the belts. There are officially 4 belts in boxing right now. You have the WBO, the IBF, WBC. The 4 belt. Wait, WBO, WBC, IBF, WBA, right? And then you got Ring Magazine. So technically it's like 5, right? But the sanctioning bodies are over the belts. And the WBO has gotten very aggressive, telling Devin Haney, who is currently the welterweight champion of that organization, that, listen, man, you going to fight Keyshawn Davis or we going to need that belt up off you, dog. I don't know if it's because Jay Prince and Keyshawn Davis's team are petitioning heavily for the Devin Haney fight, and that's making the organization put heavy pressure on Devin. But again, why isn't anybody coming up with a conversation about step aside money? In boxing, it's not unheard of at all for a mandatory to be told, hold on, I'm going to pay you a couple million or a couple 100,000, whatever it is. Hold on right quick. I got some other shit I'm going to go handle, then I'm going to come get to you. But here goes some bread for you just simply to hold on. You don't got to fight nobody for this bread. You don't got to prove nothing for this bread. This bread just some good bread for you just to stay right where you at until I get back around this motherfucker. Be right here when I get back type
Classic.
Shit. I ain't heard nobody offering Keyshawn no step aside money. But for now, it seems as though Shakur Stevenson is completely off the hook. You understand? Because it's looking like, for now, it's looking like it could be Tank or Keyshawn instead of Shakur, right? Because if Tank finally sending paperwork to Devin and really reaching out for a fight, and if Keyshawn is being mandated and Shakur doing all but turning, tucking his tail, and sprinting away from Devin Haney, then why chase after the most reluctant and the most resistant of the 3 options? You understand? So for now, it seems as though Shakur Stevenson is completely off the hook. Catch 22, though, and y'all let me know what y'all think about this, chat. Catch 22 about this, though, is that nobody needs Shakur. Out of the biggest names
in and around 140 pounds, right? The biggest names, not all the names, but the biggest of the names. So right now, in and around 147, 140, 135, 154, the biggest names in that little cluster, that little 20-pound cluster, the biggest names are Devin Haney, Tank, Ryan Garcia, Jerron Boots Ennis. By association right now, Xander Zayas as well. A lot of people are going to learn about Xander. But name-wise, and some would say ability. And then you would throw Shakur Stevenson in there. The thing is, though, with the way that Shakur is currently moving, none of them need him. None of them need him. Ryan Garcia doesn't need a Shakur Stevenson fight. For anything, he doesn't need it. No. Devin Haney, too, is way bigger than that. Tank Davis doesn't need a Shakur Stevenson fight. Fighting Devin Haney is bigger than that. Tank and Ryan fighting each other. You see what I'm saying? All three of them fighting each other or being willing to fight each other or running shit back, depending on what pairing you're talking about. All of those fights are bigger than any of them with Shakur. So Tank and Shakur is smaller than Tank Ryan or Tank Devin. Devin and Shakur is less money than Devin Tank or Devin Ryan. Ryan and Shakur is less money than Ryan Tank or Ryan Devin. Nobody needs Shakur.
Classic.
It's a catch-22. The niggas that need Shakur are not the top names. The people that need Shakur, Shaqy Foster. As his name is coming up, his cachet is coming up, but he's not a top guy. Those are the type of guys that need a Shakur fight right now. The other top guys don't need him because there's enough of them willing to fight with each other. But yet and still, you tell me that you want to be top fighter pound for pound. You got to act like it.
Classic.
You got to act like it. So the pro is, for right now, the fight that Shakur didn't want and that he was trying to swindle his way out of, it looks like for right now, he's out of it. Woosah. He's out of it. You see what I'm saying? On the flip side, everybody's realizing we don't need this nigga. We don't. He's a hard night, and out of everybody, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna be a guy who don't want to engage. He don't really want to fight. You know what I'm saying? He want to pick, poke, and stab to victory. And out of all the big fights I could make, if I'm Ryan, if I'm Devin, if I'm Tank, shit, if I'm Keyshawn, out of all the big fights that I could make, I'm going to make less with him. And it's probably it might be, the more dangerous I am, the more of a snoozer Shakur is going to try to make it. So, yes, Shakur can breathe easy for a moment. He is indeed, for the time being, he is indeed off the hook, as the thumbnail shows. He is indeed off the hook. But he's also slightly on the road to irrelevance.
Classic.
Is Shakur Stevenson, as long as he's an active fighter, ever going to be completely irrelevant? No. I'm saying irrelevance relative to his tier. So in his tier of boxing, we would put Shakur in the top tier of guys, right? But in that top tier of guys, it's now looking like everybody willing to fight each other except for hum. As Shakur Stevenson would say, hum, except for hum. Everybody looks like, for now, unless Tank's whole sending a contract, unless this thing is a farce, unless it's more smoke and mirrors, it looked like everybody willing to scrap except for hum. So in his tier, he's the least relevant guy. He might want to think about that. I think Tank Davis thought about that. Did I anticipate it? No. I thought Tank was going to stay on the circus tour, fighting a bunch of people we didn't ask him to fight, trying to represent himself well while doing so, and the show goes on, right? I thought Tank was going to continue to be the Harlem Globetrotters of boxing. Look good against less than formidable opposition and take the show on the road and catch a bag.
Classic.
I thought that's what it was going to be, but it looked like dog then jumped off the porch. Let's move. Perfect segue. Tank Davis jumping off the porch, huh? Jumping off the porch, huh? So Tank has contacted Team Devin Haney, and it looks like they are negotiating a weight and probably some bread for a potential fight. As bad as Devin Haney has wanted to fight Tank for so many years, Devin Haney is now in a position where I'm going to be real with y'all. Is it a huge fight for him? Is it a big money fight for him? Yes. But let me ask y'all something. What makes Devin more money? Devin Tank or Devin Ryan 2?
Classic.
It's a toss-up. What makes Devin more money? Devin Tank or Devin Ryan 2? It's a toss-up. It really is. And because it's a toss-up, because it's not a foregone conclusion, you can officially say that Devin doesn't need Tank Davis. Jerron Boots Ennis go out here and clip Xander's wings like everybody in Philadelphia think he gonna do. Let's say Jerron go out here and has a spectacular knockout against Xander. Some wild shit. Roy Jones Jr. prime shit, right? And Devin's willing to go to 54 for Ennis. Is that not a huge payday?
Classic.
Devin is now in a position where he doesn't need Tank Davis. A Tank Davis fight is a luxury for sure. The payday will be promising for sure. But at this point in his career, does he need Tank Davis? With the turkey bags flowing around, with the Zuffa deals looming in the air, with all of these different network deals, and Devin Haney, essentially, look at the algorithm, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not making this shit up. Whose name in boxing is percolating the algorithm more than Devin Haney right now? Nobody. It's the truth. Tank has probably taken notice to that. Why you don't, man, listen, after all these years, why send the contract now? Devin's bigger, stronger than he's ever been. You think you're going to be able to negotiate him down to a weight that's unbecoming of him? I'm telling you right now, probably not, because Devin is in a position, and I know it sounds crazy to y'all, but he don't need Tank. And I think if Tank doesn't contact Team Haney right now, and he lets Devin get another big fight under his belt, and especially a win, you now talking about with Tank coming off of the layoff that he on, you now talking about being able to negotiate like you the A side if you Devin Haney.
Classic.
Absolutely. So the window of opportunity for Tank to jump in and still try to play big dog at the negotiation table was right now. Right now. If he let Devin get any more momentum, look at the algorithm, ladies and gentlemen. If he let Devin get any more momentum, Haney could easily say, man, listen, it's 50-50 or nothing with me and you. I'm big dog. Tank could say, man, since when? I'm big dog. He's shit. How? What you mean how? What you mean how? Nigga have been tug of war for sure.
Classic.
But I ain't gonna, but for real though, it's good to see live from Greece. What up? International Ken in the building.
International.
What up? What up? Timothy Taylor said the PBC not offering non-PBC fighters big guaranteed purse money. Devin can't trust the PBC on the back end money. If Turkey not putting up the money, Devin shouldn't fight Tank Davis. I respect your take. I think that at this point in time, after Devin and Bill did that business with De La Hoya and Golden Boy, I promise you they probably buttoning up the paperwork a little different these days. They probably making sure it's all buttoned up. International Skull said, let Shakur tell it everybody needs him. Yeah, Shakur is delusional. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's probably why he double talks so much. Bro talking circles. Timothy Taylor said the WBO nickname is whatever Bob orders. Funny as hell. Yeah, the WBO. Yeah, hey, listen, man. All you got, hey, listen. Allegedly, I know what payola looks like. Oh, and just so y'all know right now, we are also streaming live on Kick from the Classic Codes as well. So yeah, man. But Tank Davis has jumped off the porch, ladies and gentlemen. What y'all think about this, man? If Devin and Tank fight, what weight y'all think is good? Tank coming off a nice little layoff. His last fight was Lamont Roach Jr. So what weight do y'all think is good? I don't think Devin should come down below 143. I know everybody's saying 144 because that's the operative number that's been floating around. But I mean, he could probably give an extra pound. Devin, at this point in his career, and at this point, you know, with his team and all of that, he's got like high level everything, high level nutritionists, high level training staff, high level access to different facilities and all of that stuff. You know, with proper notice and proper planning, right? If they put this fight 8 weeks out, 12 weeks out, something like that, give him a chance to, he probably can really healthily. I mean, obviously, he may cut into some muscle because the guy's already pretty lean. So he may cut into some muscle, but he could probably in a healthy way, get himself down to that weight without being depleted on fight night. Because we know one thing about Tank Davis is that in negotiations, they're gonna try to win 2 rounds. They're gonna try to come into the fight with an advantage off the negotiation table for sure. And that's just being from up under the Floyd Mayweather umbrella for all that time. They're gonna try to do that. If y'all don't know the details about Tank Davis, let me fill y'all in, right? Because we all see Tank as this glamorous knockout puncher. But numbers lie, as my brother Ingenious would say, numbers lie when you don't know why, right? So Leo Santa Cruz, Tank knocked him out in spectacular fashion with an unbelievable uppercut. Leo Santa Cruz was a smaller fighter moving up in weight to fight Tank. So if Tank is a guy with devastating power, like they say Tank punch hard like a 154 pounder, and he fighting at 135. And he probably small enough in stature to really be fighting at 130. You know what I'm saying? For real, because he's short as shit. But if he punching like a 54 pounder and you fighting a guy that's coming up from fucking 126, 130, yeah, you should put his lights out, right? So numbers lie when you don't know why. Tank also knocked out, who else he knocked out? He couldn't knock out Gamboa, and Gamboa fought his ass on one ankle. You see what I'm saying? Like, don't over glamorize it. Tank is a hell of a fighter. But again, I don't turn these guys into Mortal Kombat characters in my head. He's a human being. He work hard. He has a lot of talent, but he's a man at the end of the day. And if you look at his Pitbull Cruz, he couldn't knock him out. They said his hand was hurt. Okay, he didn't run it back. And really, honestly, we didn't want to see it the first time. So it's like running it back for what, right? We didn't ask to see that shit the first time. Who else? Hector Garcia. Who asked for that shit, right? He hit him so hard, he talking about he can't see. You see what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, numbers lie when you don't know why. Well, we ain't seen Tank on no 50-50 fights. Every Tank fight you ever bet on, nigga, the odds of him just simply to win the fight was probably minus 800, minus 900. You got to bet damn near $1,000 to win $100 because it ain't a close fight. Like, Tank don't fight 50-50 fights. You feel me? So if I follow the trend and the path of his career, I didn't expect him to hit up Devin Haney. He's signing up to pay for that to get paid for that first L, ain't he? Because I don't know that Tank Davis finds a way to beat Devin Haney. Because if you go in there with a pure boxer and your only chance is to try to get him out of there, God bless you, bro. God bless you. It can happen. It has happened. But God bless you, bro. I'm not putting my bread on nobody that got a bank on a knockout. And Tank don't throw enough punches to win rounds against Devin. Flat out. All that economical, I'm going to land the harder shot shit, Devin ain't even going to be around for that shit. And then we know Devin don't get tired. It's a bad fight for Tank. But Tank probably want to get that bread and cash out of boxing. He probably don't give a fuck about his win-loss record. He finna go try to see if he can hurt something. If he can't, oh well, give me my bread and I'm out. Back to the white girls. You know what I'm saying? Golden Guru said, man, Devin and his dad blowing smoke like always. He not fighting Tank Shakur or Keyshawn. I don't believe none of these fighters, man. They all BS us. Golden Guru, you a little off base, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you. You don't bet that. Don't bet that with nobody. One of the three of them gonna be his next fight. Cause who would it be? The only curveball you could really get is if you throw Ryan Garcia back in the mix. That's the only curveball you could really get is if Ryan Garcia called Devin. I bet Devin to prioritize getting that lick back against Ryan above all else. But Ryan got to go give up some urine, some hair, some blood, some skin cells, because you know he like to take extra shit. He like to put a little extra seasoning on his food. You feel me? He eating that street meat Canelo was on, wasn't he? Timothy Taylor said this could be the PBC trying to cash out Tank Davis because the Floyd Schofield fight is risky and won't make the money he would versus Devin. Absolutely. And if he fought somebody on the same tier level as Floyd Schofield, right? Say Tank decided not to fight Floyd Schofield, but he fought another nigga that we don't want to see him fight, then we would all call him a duck. I've already told y'all Tank's whole career is a duck. Because once Tank got to the point where he could fight whoever he want and he didn't call nobody for a 50-50 fight, you the boss, you make the call, you pick who you want, and you ain't signing up to fight nobody that's formidable, shit, your whole career is a duck. So if this is legitimate, he can change that narrative, right? You can always rebrand. Ain't that what I told you? But for right now, we shall see. Timothy Taylor said this could be the PBC trying to cash him out. Yeah, that's what I think too, man. I think a lot of fighters think like that, though. These guys don't want to fight 50-50 fights, not because they're afraid. It's because if I fight a 50-50 fight too early on in my career, it can impact the way I'm able to earn going forward. I lose this fight, then my next fight, you know, my minimum goes down, right? So these guys don't want to potentially take that L too soon. I don't think some of these guys protecting the O like we think. They just don't want to give up the O early. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can give y'all a great example. Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant fought his career up to a certain point, won some belts, you know what I'm saying, or won a title, you know what I'm saying, looked good against B plus competition. And then when it was time for him to take that next step up and the Canelo, the Benavidez, you know, all of that type of shit, he was ready and willing to do so, but you're going to pay me right. You're going to compensate me right. And I'm going to go in here and give it everything I got too. But even if I should fall, my family is set up forever. And I'll be going down in history as a courageous, bold fighter who took on every challenge, you know, was a world champion, did my 1-2. And I solidified my legacy monetarily as well. I think that's that trajectory of, like, if you got to be a nigga that end up with 2, 3, 4 losses, the way Caleb Plant did it in recent history is a good example of that. You feel me? You take them bigger fights on the back end for the bigger bags. You take you some other fights to look good in between, and you the A side, so you get the heavier amount of the wage. And then, you know what I'm saying? You work like that. And now Caleb probably going to come back and get one more. He probably going to get one more nice-ass bag before he get up out of there. Even coming off the loss to Resendez. He might, if he get that Charlo fight, if he get that big Charlo, well, see, Charlo can't stay out of trouble, G. He fucking up the money. He fucking up that paper. But if Caleb Plant and Charlo line it up, that's a big bag for both of them. Because we going to watch that. We need to see it. The storyline, after getting the shit slapped out of him like that, we got to see that. Golden Guru said, Tank knew how dangerous Lamont was, and he was telling us the whole time leading up to the fight. People that really know boxing know that fight was 60-40. Yeah, I saw it at 60-40. I didn't see Lamont because I saw how tough and durable Lamont was. A lot of shit be about durability. Like with these guys that's supposed to have all this devastating power and shit like that, there are men who are just a little more sturdy than other niggas. And when they come across them guys where they like, man, I just can't get this dude out of here. Like when they fight durable fighters, it's going to be a rough night for them. Because they so used to hitting a nigga with some real shit for the first time, and then his whole approach switch up. When they run into that nigga that they hit with that real shit, and he eat that shit and smile and like, okay, let's fight. It's like, oh shit, it's gonna be a long night. You feel me? It's just like when Canelo got on the enhancements and fought Triple G, because we know after that first Canelo Triple G fight, Canelo came back with the supercharge. You know, he had that NOS in his engine. Y'all know what it was. So when he went, he had to go get him some extra. Because he like, man, I hit that motherfucker with everything. The kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, the chair, a table, and he just kept coming. That's when that man went to go get that NOS. He had to put that Hemi in that.
Classic.
He had to keep this shit up. But yeah, man, Tank jumping off the porch. I just hope it's real. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just hope it's real. So we gonna see. Let's move. Question: is Devin Haney the new face of boxing, chat? Is Devin Haney the new face of boxing? Objectively speaking, Tank Davis's biggest fight right now would be who? Shakur, Devin, or a Ryan rematch? I'm going to say Devin. Shakur Stevenson's biggest fight right now would be who? Tank or Devin? I'm going to say Devin. Tank coming off a long layoff. Maybe Tank. But it's Ryan Garcia's biggest fight is who? Tank 2 or Haney 2? Who is Ryan Garcia's biggest fight right now? Tank 2 or Haney 2? I'm going to say Devin, G. If Tank was the face of boxing somehow, which I don't know how because the nigga don't take challenges, and we know that Devin does, if they kind of even and Devin's resume is definitely better than Tank's, then y'all tell me, is Devin Haney the face of boxing?
Classic.
Mr. J said Devin is the only person I would support his pay-per-view. Bro, Timothy said Devin is the face of boxing. Once Canelo retires or lose again. Canelo been stopped being the face of boxing. I ain't gonna lie, Timothy. For me, anyway. I don't know who still considers Canelo the face of boxing. Nigga been cherry picking for the better part of 10 years. Canelo been cherry picking for a long time now. I think we forget. That nigga been cherry picking for a minute. Mr. J said, especially if he fight one of those guys. Bro, somebody tell me why. If anybody object to this, anybody in the chat that think Devin Haney is not now the new face of boxing, somebody tell me. If there's anybody in the chat that object to this. Matter of fact, I got 10 minutes for y'all. Let me drop the link. 15 minutes max. I'm finna drop the link. Anybody want to come up here and tell me why Devin Haney is or is not the face of boxing? Link is in the chat right now for the StreamYard. Link is in the chat right now for the StreamYard. Somebody tap in and tell me why Devin Haney is or is not the face of boxing. It can't be David Benavidez, but it's not David Benavidez's fault. David Benavidez isn't the face of boxing. David Benavidez isn't the face of boxing because, again, he is devoid of big name opposition, and it's not his fault. He can continue to pummel the people in front of him, but some guys would need to make themselves, like my dog Ben Whitaker. If Ben Whitaker get a couple big wins with his charisma, his style, if he make himself a little more known in America, kind of how they building up Conor Ben, then that's the big fight for Benavidez right there. Name-wise, like a fight that the casuals will really, really embrace for real because Ben, you can put together a hell of a highlight tape on Ben, right? And you can put together a hell of a highlight tape on David and make it look like these two, this super slick, dynamic guy from overseas coming to meet with the monster that's going to walk shit down and throw a million punches and see how that play out. I mean, but David needs a big fight opposition to be the face of boxing, in my opinion. David is the man. Don't get it fucked up. I ain't got nothing bad to say about David Benavidez. But the face of boxing chat. Somebody click the StreamYard if you want to. The link in the chat. Is Devin Haney the face of boxing? I'm going to go with a hard yes, bro. The biggest fight for all the biggest names anywhere around his weight class is him. Gervonta is about to fight Xander on Saturday. Would this fight be more talked about if it was Gervonta and Haney? Yes. Not that this fight ain't being talked about. Not that it's not going to do numbers on the East Coast over there. You know what I'm saying? Xander being Puerto Rican and Boots being from Philly, that fight going to do numbers. But would this fight be bigger if it was Boots Devin? Yes. Everybody's fight would be bigger if it was them versus Devin. Devin Haney is the face of boxing, chat. I know y'all didn't see it happen when it happened. I know y'all didn't see it coming when it came. But the tide has turned. Terrence Crawford is retired. Andre Ward is retired. Canelo Alvarez is cherry picking. And he be losing this shit. He just lost the bud. If Devin Haney not the face of boxing, then who? There just isn't one. It's not Tank, gang. Tank ain't fought. He don't fight nobody who want him to fight. How you the face of boxing? You don't fight nobody that we want you to fight. When we gave Canelo Alvarez the title of the face of boxing, it's because the nigga fought Lara, prime Lara, prime Trout, prime Golovkin, at least once. He fought Golovkin 3 times. Danny Jacobs. So yeah, we called him the face of boxing. Tank don't give us none of the fights we want. When he did finally fight Ryan Garcia, he made the nigga come in on Michael Jackson Thriller weight. He made him come in with the sunk in joints. He made him make Thriller weight. So, I mean, we going to listen, numbers lie when you don't know why. I'm not a nigga who going to forget the history. It's a boxing. PBU, Tank don't give us none of the fights we want. Turn it down. When he did finally fight Ryan Garcia, he made the nigga come in on he made him come in with the sunk in joints. Yo,
he made him make Thriller weight.
turn the background down, gang. PBU, what's up? Unmute yourself, gang. You gotta turn your background down, though. All right, come back up when you're ready. I see you backstage. I don't know. PBU boxing back. Okay, there you go. There you go. Hold on. Here we go. Yo. I'm trying to unmute you. You got to unmute yourself. I can't do it. You muted yourself, bro. Oh, he gone. All right. Yeah. You got to turn the background down. If y'all come up, make sure that y'all got me turned down in the background wherever you listening, on TV or wherever you got going on. It's a delay. But yeah, man. Let's see. Golden Guru said Tank can fight anyone and will be bigger than Devin versus anyone. I disagree. How do you know that Devin versus Ryan 2 doesn't do more numbers than Tank versus Ryan 2? How do you know that? Please. PBU, what up?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's good? Talk to me.
Hey, no. I agree with you with Haney. Can you hear me?
Yep, you good. You clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you agree. Why
Yeah.
you feel like he the face of boxing though? Or when do you think it took, like, when do you think the shift happened?
All right. Yeah.
You get me?
I think it happened. I think it happened after that Brian Norman, that B Norm. Once he came back and he proved to the people who was. It's a delay. My bad, yo.
You good? I'm listening. I know.
Okay, cool. So yeah, after he came back and he proved to the people that, yo, he wasn't, afraid to get in there. Yeah, okay, but okay, no, it's just a delay. But yeah, I think it was after the Brian Norman fight. He proved to the people that he wasn't afraid to get in there and mix it up. And now, ever since he did that, no one is willing to jump in there, like just take on this pillar fisted guy anymore. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, we having some technical difficulties, so I'm gonna pull you down. But I appreciate you popping up to let me know your take on it. I agree too. I definitely agree. I think it took place after people seeing him come back and show that he's not a wounded animal following the Ryan Garcia debacle. But man, appreciate you coming up, PBU. I'm gonna drop you down though, because we got a nasty delay going, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. But yeah. Shout out to PBU, man. Always in the chat, showing love, giving them good perspectives, man. But yeah, I think we have crossed over into a new paradigm, man. Devin Haney is now the face of boxing. I don't really know if anybody will want to debate or combat that, because whatever you would say is a bigger fight than Haney and somebody else, whatever you would say, we would have to, it's going to be like this. You can't guarantee that. Okay, let me do it like this, because I know this is going to get more rewatch action than what the chat talking about right now, because I think everybody in the chat kind of agree with me. But let me ask y'all this for the people that's going to catch this on the rewatch and drop y'all comments. Does the biggest fight in boxing right now involve Devin Haney or not? Think about the biggest fight that could be made in boxing. Does it involve Devin Haney or not? That's it. That's what I want on the rewatch. Y'all jump in the comments, do what y'all got to do. I know some of y'all hate. I know some of y'all got love. But
remember this day. Remember this day.
And I ain't going to stay on it too long. I feel like my point been made. Yes, Lord. All right, y'all. We keeping it swift, man. I got my The Classic Code stream coming up in about 20-30 minutes. My regular everyday stream. This has been Classic Code Sports for the day. You see the information scrolling across the bottom of the screen in case you want to support the channel by subscribing for free and support the channel monetarily through the Cash App if you so choose. That's completely up to you. This channel will be monetized shortly as the subscribers are going up daily, and I'm going to continue to stay active for y'all for sure, for sure. Listen to me, man. If y'all don't do nothing else, my request is always the same. Make sure you stick to the codes. We got another classic. Yes, Lord.
Why you ain't say nothing? I'm only gonna do this once. You always knew I'd make it in the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? You believed in me the whole time, for real? Yeah. I couldn't tell. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something. Been watching my story all winning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't call? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Put that on my soul. Oh no. They ain't hungry no more when it's time to eat crow. Or farming, I'm enhancing my glow. Ain't gon' argue with you about what I know. Photo album, all I'm seeing is ghosts. Had to remodel from pillar to post. Said what I said, I ain't come here to argue. You said congratulations, should've said sorry. Got it, now you won't be part of the party. Your access denied, I'm sorry, not sorry. When I needed air, niggas wouldn't afford it. Now they pulling up and thinking we solid. Now I'm on the phone talking $1 million topics. Up early, Zoom call out to Abu Dhabi. Don't answer my phone if it's gon' be about gossip. I don't really care, everybody got problems. That's why I be sharing my woes. Letting y'all know it's okay, you can come up from the bottom. Whoa, scraping, scratching, clawing. Before I start running, I started with crawling. Before I got balance, I started with falling. Started with broke before ever was balling. Started with hope before ever reward. They ain't show up till I became important. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something? Been watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say nothing?